Okay, let us start the session. It's already very late for all of us. See, you need to practice this session almost on daily basis, at least, one transaction or one metal master or something like that. So then only you will be able to understand if there is any problem so that you can take it up. You should not wait for this Saturday so that you are having some problem or something to raise it. Okay. Right. Now, have you created all the master data up to production version, Kani? You completed everything?
Still production version, sir. No source list and purchase info record, sir.
Why?
Because I only decided to work yesterday, sir. But system doesn't work.
No, yeah,
But
this
I
is
have
not,
no problem in that, sir. No problems. I know already. Sometimes I create those things in my office, sir. So I have no problem. Once system access is available, I can do it, sir. It will take just 10 minutes for me, so I will do it, sir.
Okay. Sigmund, how about you?
Yes, sir. I have done mine, sir.
You completed
done
all
all.
the info records, source list, everything you completed?
Everything, sir. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Right. Fine. Let us start the session now. Recording is going on. Okay. So today we will be starting because now we completed the discussions on all the master data related to production planning and also master data related to materials management. So now we are ready to go for the business transactions. So when any business starts with the demand coming from the customers. So we'll be starting on what is the demand management. The production planning or manufacturing, this is the general thing which starts. Like there is a forecast which is starting, and there is a sales plan. I mean, these are all also used alternatively also in some cases, sales plan, forecast. These things are converted into production plan considering the capacity constraints. The constraints, capacity means it may be a machine capacity or labor capacity or warehouse space capacity. There are many capacity issues out there. Because sales may ask, I need 1,000 numbers this day. But if the capacity is only 500, you will not be able to produce 500 on the same day. So you need to do the production plan accordingly. So based on this production plan, you run MRP. And then as a result of MRP, you get the purchase requisitions, purchase orders, you buy the materials, there is a procuring the products. And then using the procured items, then we produce the materials for which also MRP would have given the proposal called planned orders. The output coming from MRP to produce items are called planned orders. The proposal coming from MRP or purchase items are called as purchase requisition. Okay, so these are purchase requisition converted to purchase orders here. Here planned orders are converted into production orders. And then we produce the materials, then they are kept into stock, they are sold. This is how the overall business process. And how production planning is part of the business process, how the procurement is part of the business process. So what is demand? Demand is anything with respect to good or service which customers are willing and able to purchase at each price. So they are willing to pay something and get the product. That is called demand. There are two types of demand. One is called independent demand. Other is called dependent demand. So here, if you take this example, there is a product A for which there are two sub-assemblies. And then this sub-assembly is having further components here. This sub-assembly is another sub-assembly. This is having another component. This is a product structure. If you take this structure, in this case, A is the independent demand. That's the parent product, which is at the level 0 of the bill of material, which is having the demand directly coming from market. All other things are called dependent demand, which are there to produce this product A. So independent demand is coming from market, or they are forecasted, or we receive sales order, or we do the sales plan. That is, we do the plan for them. The dependent demands are calculated to produce this independent demand. Okay. Now, in case another product B, again it's having A, right now, this is the A subassembly is there. Another subassembly G, so they have G, K, N. So here we have B as the independent demand, A and other things are dependent demand. Here A is the product which is, if you take this BOM, A is becoming now independent. That is becoming a level 0. And it is having its own subassemblies or components. Now this is having its own requirement coming from market. When it is used here, this is used to produce this product A. But when it is produced as it is, then it is sold to the market separately. If you take an example, this is a car. If you take to produce car, we need tires. So here tire is a dependent demand for car. Here we have tire, we have this the wheels and also the tube, right? Then this tire itself is becoming independent because for the repair or the things, tire is required. So here A2 is becoming independent. These things are become dependent. Similarly, G is another material which is subassembly here, or it is a dependent demand. Now, when you are producing it separately for the market requirement, that is becoming independent requirement. And then K, N, these are all becoming dependent demands. Is it clear, this dependent demand, independent demand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Right. So here, which are all the dependent demand, which are all independent demand? So here, which is independent demand, which is dependent demand?
Here motor is an independent demand, sir. All other some components which they sell as an spare parts. It's also we can call as
No. I am showing this BOM structure.
Okay, sir.
In this, which is independent, which are all dependent for this structure.
Gear motor. Okay, sir. Gear motor is an independent. Rest are dependent, sir.
Correct.
First, sir.
Here,
Gearbox is an we can sell it as an a separate product. So it's dependent is gearbox and independent is a gearbox. The rest of input output components are dependent demands.
okay.
Good.
Here,
Yes, a motor is an independent, sir. Against independent, sir.
right. So these are all independent demands. Gear motor, gearbox, motor, and components. These are all dependent demands. The gearbox was dependent when it was used to produce the gear motor. Similarly, the motor was dependent when it was used to produce the gear motor. Components were dependent when they were used to produce the other product. This clarity has to be there. Is it clear, Sigmund?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, why should we know these dependent, independent separately? Now we are talking this dependent, independent separately. Why should we know these things? Whether it is
To have a
dependent.
forecast, sir. To have a forecast of visibility of requirement of each component, sir.
So can you elaborate?
For example, to generate a gear motor, we may need one motor, one gearbox, and some components.
Okay.
Maybe also we'll sell gearbox apart. So we need to sell. Maybe we will sell 5 gearbox per maximum per month. So we should have the visibility of 5. And also motor, if we sell 1 or 2 apart, we should have the 2 more motors. Apart
Fine. Okay. Now to summarize here. So when I put the plan for gear motor, say 100 numbers, then system will plan 100 motors, 100 gearboxes, 100 components, and other following materials, which are there in the BOM. At the same time, if there is a requirement for gearbox for 10 numbers, right? That demand, I need to put it separately in the system, right? So gear motor 100 already put. For that, I am going to produce 100 gearboxes. But there is a requirement coming for gearbox. So I need to enter the demand for gearbox separately. that is 10, sir. Then only system will plan for that gearbox how many inputs required, how many outputs are required. Right? What is happening in many companies? They plan for only gear motor. They produce a gearbox. It was supposed to consume for the gear motor. What will happen if there is a requirement coming for gearbox? They from the market, they go and take this material. So it is becoming a shortage for the production because of this clarity not there. So there should be a analysis on which are all the dependent items, which are all independent items, and we need to also check which dependent items probably will be required as an independent item also. And for those items, we need to work out what is the demand for them and enter them separately. Then only we'll be able to get the requirements and MRP and all the down level materials planned properly. Okay, is it clear? Why should we differentiate these dependent and independent?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now production planning execution is a point where now the demand management, where we are getting these inputs coming from sales orders or long-term planning or sales and operations planning. Earlier we discussed the sales and operations planning is happening. Every one of you are telling in something in different way. And then demand management is feeding to the master production scheduling, then metal requirement planning. But in case of SAP, there is no separate, the master scheduling or metal requirement planning. But MRP type are there for master scheduling and MRP. Okay, we will discuss them when you are going to these systems there. Okay, when you are going and discussing these points. Yeah.
Sir, one question, sir. MRP, I know when we feed all the independent requirement and we run some heuristics, it will generate MRP. MRP will generate the result. Master production scheduling is what exactly, sir? Like layman language.
That is what the session now. We'll see that.
Yes, okay, sir.
And again, heuristics and all, these are the terms not related to this regular MRP. And that is related to your APO and PPDS. Maybe we'll not bring these terms, those terms here. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Also, there is a planning which is based on the Kanban concept. Okay, there is a concept called Kanban or consumption-based planning. We'll be discussing on consumption-based planning. What is the consumption-based planning? Which is the reorder point planning. We will be doing that. Okay, that is also one plan. Then we do the production execution. Next is the planning levels. And now coming back here, regarding master production scheduling and MRP, material requirement planning, we had two parameters which were defined these things in the metal master. Where did we define them?
Sir, in the MRP view, in MRP view, we will say like strategy and procurement.
No, strategy is what? It is whether it is make to stock or make to order.
No, it's whether we say it's an internal production or external production.
It is internal or external. But what is this here? Master. We are talking about master production scheduling or metal requirement planning.
Material requirement planning, sir.
Where is it? Where do we maintain this parameter? You remember this?
Sir, in MRP to view.
No, this is why I asked you, all of you, to create the metal master. No, by referring some items, maybe you can copy, some items you have to create them right from the scratch. Are you able to tell this point, Sigmund? Where do we maintain this?
Yes, I think in MRP 1, sir, but not sure. Sir.
Not sure means what?
Yeah, MRP 1, sir.
Okay, where do we maintain?
In MRP 1, you have that MRP type.
Correct.
And
in MRP type, we are having what? MPS. MPS is what? Master scheduling.
Yes.
This P1, P2, P3, PD, these are all MRP, material requirement planning, right? These are all called material requirement planning, P1, P2, P3. V1, V2, VP, these are all reorder planning, right? So this is where we are segregating the material, whether it is a master scheduling item or MRP item. Okay, how to use them, let us discuss. But this is where we are maintaining it, material master. Okay, right. See, this material master is very important. Okay, you need to always remember these things. There is no excuse unless you are familiar with the material master.
Sir, this is the basic point to APO, sir. I totally forgot, sir. If you put X0, it will send to APO. This is the first point of master data.
Okay, right. Right, now coming to planning levels. What are the planning levels? At a very high level, right, they do the profitability analysis. And then sales and operations planning, which is done at the product group level. Then we have the demand management, where we are having this master scheduling. And then we have the MRP. In MRP, we are doing whether it is a procuring or manufacturing, right? So sales and operation profitability analysis is that they decide in which region how much you are going to sell, how much will be their product, which product we are going to sell, a broad idea. The focus is on the profitability and also sales analysis. After doing these things, they will come back for the sales and operations planning, where the sales and operations planning will be focusing on the group level of the products. For example, we have different gearboxes here, for example, right? So there may be some inline helical gearboxes or parallel gearboxes or planetary gearboxes, like the different gearboxes are there. The group will be discussed. But within this inline helical gearbox, what we created now, gearbox 1001, like this, it may be 40 or 50 items. Those are all individual items. Those things should be planned in the demand management, which is at the individual product level. These product level items are entered into the system as the demand. And it is called as a master production scheduling in a general MRP concept. But it is not necessary that everything has to go for master production scheduling. Something may go for MRP also, right? That is what we will be discussing it. Okay. Also, it may be used for long-term planning. We will be discussing this master scheduling. And then based on these products, which are all independent items, then MRP will run whether to procure the items, how much to procure, then how much to produce or assemble. These things will happen in the material requirement planning. So these are the planning levels. And here in the planning levels, the feedback and correction is important, depending on what is the output. For example, they may be asking this much product group, but individually product wise, when you go through, there may be constraint in specific work center. Then if you are not able to produce, there should be clear feedback. Similarly, the product is giving this some components or purchasing items you need to do, but the purchasing items is not available in the market. Then we need to be very careful. I mean, we have to analyze and decide what to do. Okay, so this is the procurement, manufacturing and assembly items. Right, the demand management is very critical for any organization, because it is the point where we start to ensure that availability of the customer demand. I mean, availability of materials to meet the customer demand. Also, we predict to produce what and when. It is a predict to produce. Sorry, it is predict to produce what and when. That is important. And this demand management is focused by all the functions like sales, production, procurement, logistics, and finance. And it is always focused on balancing the demand and supply. How much demand is there and how much supply has to be done. For example, demand is coming from market side, customer side. Supply is coming from the supplying organization. If there is a demand for which you are not able to supply, then that's going to be a problem, because company is losing the business. If there is a demand less, but we have good capacity means then we are going to lose the capacity. We are going to lose the cost. That is not also not good for the organization. So it should always be balanced. So optimize inventory and well-balanced utilization of capacity has to be there. Of course, there will be a fluctuation in the demand and the supply. That will be always there because we are living in the world called VUCA. You remember the abbreviation for VUCA? What is VUCA?
Stands for volatility.
Volatility.
Yes.
Volatility. Change. C for change. U for.
Hey, you got up or not, Sigmund?
I got up 7. Can't remember.
You are 1 hour ahead of Kani, right?
I don't know, sir.
She is from France.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what? What is VUCA?
Volatility.
These things we discuss in CSCP, we discuss this in MSME. I think this course also initially told, I don't remember exactly. Volatility, U for uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Yes, sir.
C for
change.
complexity.
Capacity. Okay.
A for, now we should get the answer. Ambiguity.
Ambiguity. Gotten, sir.
Volatility, uncertainty,
Uncertainty.
complexity, ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
So this is the world where change is the only constant. Everything is changing. Correct? This means
yes.
We need to be prepared to face any change or fluctuation in the demand or supply. That is the job of the MRP controller. This MRP controller has to start from this demand management. So there should be a daily basis. That is why we need to stop working on Excel file. Instead, we need to set the master data clearly. We need to set the process clearly. And then use the system to do the regular follow-up. When you do this, your effectiveness will increase. You will get lot of proactive steps to avoid any problems. If you start to work on Excel, think why you are working in Excel. Then find out the root cause for that reason for the Excel working. Then go and address that in the system itself. Then avoid the Excel. That is what you can do. That's what you need to do. Not you can do. You need to do. Right. So demand management, what is the purpose? The goal is SMART. No, it should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, anything, timely, which means the goal is to meet the customer service, improve the customer service. At the same time, it should reduce the lead time and the cost. We have to improve the customer service. At the same time, we have to reduce the cost. That is what improve the financial performance of the organization. At the same time, improve the customer service. It means you have to reduce the cost, increase the customer service. If you keep on increasing customer service, allowing cost to increase, again, your company will not sustain for long. And if you are allowing that you will reduce the cost, but the customer is suffering, then customer will not come back. You will not have anybody to business. So we have to balance. Right? That is very important. And as part of demand management, another thing which we need to do is that we have to group the materials so that we plan them properly. Grouping the materials will be like this: make to stock, make to order, assemble to order. A general grouping. Make to stock, make to order, and assemble to order. So what are the elements for demand management? I hope you remember these things. Consumption mode and logic. Requirement type. Availability check. Replenishment lead time. Where do we maintain consumption mode and logic?
MRP 1.
Hmm?
MRP 3, sir. Whether it's
MRP.
backward, forward, or backward and forward.
Yes, consumption mode. That is logic. And then requirement type. That one we have not discussed. We will discuss it. Then availability check. Where would you maintain?
It's MRP 3 or 4. I'm not sure, sir. Availability check whether it is
Then total
whether
replenishment lead time.
that is on MRP, sir. Whether if it is in-house, we will have in-house.
No.
timing.
We are talking about replenishment lead time.
Okay, sir. It's on MRP 3. We'll have an external procurement on, sir.
So in MRP 3, we have this strategy. We have this consumption mode. Backward consumption, forward consumption. We have availability check. We have the replenishment lead time.
Yes, sir.
So now what do you get now? Your MRP 3 view is related to what? It is related to demand management.
Demand management.
So your MRP 2 is related to what? How do you procure?
Procurement.
Like in-house or external. And MRP 1 is how do you plan? If you remember these things like this, it will be easy to remember.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you will think that there are a lot of fields how to do and all these issues will come. Okay, right. So now let us talk about each of these things. So now the time is less than 1 minute. Let us stop here. We'll come back on this discussion. Okay, maybe after 5 or 6 minutes, we'll meet again.
Yes, sir.